What's up, Dyers? Dargugan here. Welcome back to another video. Now, in today's video, I was always thinking to myself, which Christmas present is actually the best one out of the 7? And so that's basically what this episode is going to be. Just me grabbing the 7 presents, the one from this year and last year, or last year and last year. So basically in the 2020 and the 2021, I'm pretty sure. Christmas event, and I'm going to be ranking every single one of them from worst to best. Now, starting off right now is going to be the season's greeting one, and the reason for this is mainly because it only gives you, I believe, 500 diamonds. It isn't much, but it helps you a lot if you are very close to completing, to be able to get the Tommy gun, the laser rifle, durable shotgun, or spaz, or whatever, and it actually helps you to get there a lot more better. So I just decided to put this a little at the very lowest spot because it is useful, but at the same time, not really the best. Coming into the number 6 spot is gonna have to be the Christmas cookie. Now, the Christmas cookie is by far, in my opinion, one of the most useless and basically underrated tacticals or utilities, you could say, in the game. Now, the problem with it is that currently to its description, you get 25 HP, which is very decent. But you also get a permanently increased stamina boost by 20%, which sounds very good with speed armor and juggernaut armor because you want as much mobility as you can compared to the zombies so you can get a way more bigger advantage against them. But every time I use this, I feel the exact same. I don't feel anywhere remotely different. I don't even feel slightly bigger, better, stronger, faster, nothing. I just feel the same. And I tried using different armors. No, I feel the same way. You could use a soda. You could use a candy cane. Or even a chili pepper better than this thing. I would rather have an Oreo cookie shoved down my throat because it tastes way better and more precious than this. Coming into the number 5 spot is going to have to be the Tech 9. Now, I can already see how many of you guys are going to say, you are wrong. Tech 9 is actually a very good gun. And I agree with you, it is a very good gun. But there's just one problem that I find with it very, very commonly. The ammunition is so fast. It is literally faster than the Uzi, than the Vector, and basically any other faster low ammunition gun in the game. This gun, yes, the damage is very good. Technically, 18 damage and then 27 damage for a headshot, which is very good. But its ammunition is very fast, and also the fact that it wasn't very hard to get this. I'm pretty sure you had to, complete some random stuff, but I would say it wasn't really that hard to get. Now, I remember when I got this, I thought it was going to be one of the best guns, and it was a very good gun, but then they patched out the ammunition cap from being very, very heavily ammunitionized, that is not a word, to basically having no ammo at all. So the main problem I find with this is that it barely has any ammo. But that doesn't necessarily say that this gun is bad. If really, I say it's one of the greater weapons for a secondary if you don't have any Robux or diamonds, then, or technically the same thing, but you can always go for this or the Colt. So if you like spraying, if you like having like a crossbow and this gun, that's a great setup. If you have a shotgun and this gun as well as with the tech, this is actually a very good setup as well. You could one-shot zombies, and if they aren't dead yet, you could just spray them for a few bullets to actually get them, basically finish them off. So this gun isn't necessarily bad. It's just this ammunition is very, very, very fast, and it comes into number 5. Coming into the number 4 spot is gonna have to be the Vector. Now, I can already see many of you guys saying, you are wrong, the Vector is literally the best in the game. I agree with you, but its history is dog crap, and it's making it drown in its misery. The Vector was literally, back in the day, one of the worst primary weapons, or probably was the worst primary weapons in the game. Its ammunition was pathetic, damage was pathetic, everything was pathetic about it. But then they made a few buffs to it, and it's now a very good primary weapon to this day. Now, the only thing I find about it is that just isn't nearly top 1 or top 2 on this list is mainly because its accuracy is a very wonky, and of course its burst doesn't do that much damage, so you would more or less have to have like a secondary, either the RPG or the Colt, to be able to basically have a chance to snipe the enemies like the Tangler or something like that from far so they don't screw you over. And apart from that, the Victor is actually a very good gun against the Juggernaut because he drains his HP so fast. One of the best primary weapons to actually drain the Juggernaut's HP incredibly fast. And that's the only reason I don't find it better than all the other weapons. It's just that its ammunition's weird, the history is just very bad to the Valiant Survivor, and it's good in here. Alright, so now we're going into the territory of very controversial shit here. Next up on the list, number 3, is gonna have to be the Pitchfork. This item was achieved by, of course, completing the Holiday Harvest present, which I don't remember what it was about, but I think it was just killing and doing something about zombies. But either way, that's what it was. It wasn't that hard to get, and it was actually one of the greater things to get as well. Now, the reason it's at number 3 and not number 2 or 1 is mainly because of its ability's cooldown. The ability helps you to basically get out of sticky situations by making a very fast dash forward to be able to get out of sticky situations. And also does 70 damage to a basic attack, but I'm not too sure about its dash attack. But either way, this helps you a lot to get out of sticky situations. But the main reason that it's not going to be a number 2 or 1 is because there's always a little bit something better than this. There's a hammer, a machete, a ham. And this does help you to get more mobility and distance. It doesn't necessarily help you to fend off the undead. Coming into the number 2 spot is going to have to be the Galil. Now, the reason I'm putting it number 2 is because of its story. Its challenge wasn't that hard. You only had to kill 100 Juggernauts and 100 Witches. Or Banshees, you want to call them. And then its entire buff and nerfing story came out. There's a lot of people say this needs a nerf, or this needs a buff. But I'm going to have to say, it deserves really nothing. It really deserves to be just how it is right now. Currently in the footage, it does 23 damage and 39 damage to headshots, which is actually very useful. Ammunition is typical, but the main reason I'm putting in number 2 is because there's always those better weapons, those awesome laser rifles, miniguns, Tommy guns, spazzes that you could be using. And this gun is a very, very, very good primary. It's probably one of the best primary weapons in the game. But it's just not as great as the other ones because of its history and more or less reputation of how it is to the community of this game. This gun is a very, very useful and very deadly one. But it's just the fact that there's always those ones that are better than it. And if you don't really have anything else, then I would highly suggest this gun. And also the crossbow better than that. Alright, so coming into the number 1, which I'm pretty sure you all expected, is the Yeti Defender. This is by far the best defender in the game currently, and it's pretty obvious why. This thing is an absolute beast. It does a total of 125 damage, but it does this shooting at tanglers and hunters from a far distance, and also to any nearby zombies. So, for an example, if you're tangled or hunted from a very far distance, the Yeti, if it's farther than you, it can literally snipe the infected with only 2 swings, or maybe even 1 if you even damage the zombie. So if I'm pretty sure the hunter has 150 HP. If you damaged it by like 20 damage, it will be able to one-shot it completely and get you up right off the bat. This thing is ridiculous. And especially the fact that it actually protects you when you are actually frozen. It basically beats the zombies that are next to you, and even the chiller themselves if they're attacking you when you're frozen. It does so much damage to, of course, beating them, and also when sniping the Tangler or the Hunter from a far distance. Yes, its speed is 1.5 seconds, and yes, the Elf Defender is a little tiny bit more of a, is this more of a better one? But this one will always remain the top dog, because this one helps you to counter the 2, or technically 3 infected that can ruin your entire life's existence with a single millisecond. This thing is very good, but the only reason it's, or a very good one is, of course, it has the same problems with all the other defenders where zombies can actually block the damage from the Tangler and Hunter, so they can keep you down, and also the fact that they can still get stuck. The defenders can get stuck behind a tree, a rock, or something like that. Typical stuff. But if you're in the middle of nowhere and this thing helps you out, you will literally become an unstoppable foe. I said bubble, but unstoppable foe. This is by far the best Christmas present because it helps you stay alive a lot longer from literally the 3 infected that corrupt this game every single second. I also want to point out that the gift to get it was very, very hard and very troubling, but very, very rewarding in the end. And thank you guys so much for watching, all the support, and yeah, I'll see you in 10 decades.